LinkedIn, what it is a business-oriented social networking site. You hit it on the head before. 30 million users in the US. There's 60 million users.
Oh my God.
60 million users on LinkedIn as of February 2010. I pulled this last month at a workshop I did. But out of those 60 million, there's 30 million people in America on LinkedIn.
Now, how did I know that?
I'm not sure. You tell me.
I just knew that anybody that could read and write and chew gum at the same time probably was on LinkedIn.
No.
Not true. I never heard of LinkedIn's existence until the day I lost my job. I called my mom and said, hey, I just lost my job. And you know what? My mom and dad didn't have any pity for me whatsoever. They said, you know what, son? We're sorry to hear about this, but you need to get on a website called LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn? What the heck is LinkedIn? Go figure it out, was what she said. And you know what? Within 2 hours of losing my job, within 2 hours of being laid off, I was on LinkedIn, had my profile up and running. I was ready to go. And I tell you what, on this note, if I would have been on LinkedIn even a year before being laid off from my position at AIG, I would have been rehired within an hour of losing my job. I guarantee it. Because now I've developed such a powerful network, okay, that I have those contacts I didn't have before.
How do you become unique when you're competing with 60 million?
Exactly.
Good question. You don't look at it like you're competing with them.
Well, you are, whether you like it or
You
not.
don't look at it from that perspective.
Well, you are,
Put it out there.
Definitely you're competing.
Yeah.
What's going to set you apart of those 60, well, 60 million is a very...
It's who you know.
You bet it is.
It's who you know.
Well, it's more than who you know.
It's who you know.
what you do. It's the process you use to get
I'll
the
tell you
job.
what, it's who's willing to add credibility to you as a job seeker. Okay, you look at my page, Brad Rainey has written recommendations on there about me. Other folks I do these workshops for, okay, have recommended my work and my passion. So that adds credibility to me as a job seeker, as a professional. If you start reaching out to former coworkers, former bosses, anyone that you've had contact with, okay, over the last, let's say, year, a couple of years, in your line of work, reach out to them, ask for them to vouch for you.
Well, people are very happy to help you. If you just ask them, most people for help, they'll actually help you. They'll feel very good that you asked them, in fact.
Yeah, let me tell you something, this is a community effort. Okay, people want to look at it as like, hey, I'm in this by myself. You're absolutely wrong.
Well, Carlos, I have a friend who's in the pharmaceutical business, and she was amazing at interviewing, and that's how she got with such an amazing company making a lot of money. She told me that I needed to have a brag book, and I didn't even know what that was. But then I figured out that to get everyone that I've worked with in the past, whether it be clients or VPs, to write a recommendation letter, now I have a thick, that I, just like the recommendations with LinkedIn, and I think that sets you apart, because a lot of people don't.
Any awards that you won, anything to add credibility and value to your prior experience, you need to put it on your LinkedIn profile, you need to have it on your resume, okay? You need to be able to show these things off and be ready, willing, and able to produce any documents that this employer needs. Before I got the job at AIG, I tell you what, I wasn't experienced, okay, to have a job that'd be managing 300 people and overseeing over 50 branch offices in the Southeast. I wasn't experienced or even qualified for that. But I tell you what got me the job was I know how to interview. That's it. I know how to interview. Okay? So, because I know how to interview, and again, I've interviewed a lot of folks, it really is a technique in an art form, I was able to get a position, and I tell you what, prior to getting, I was scrutinized heavily. Well, you have you say on your resume, and this was before LinkedIn, you have this on your resume, you want this award, that award, let's see it. Sure, no problem. Here you go. Yeah.
What about awards and things that you won 10 years ago? And organizations, I've been using LinkedIn for a long time. I have a lot of recommendations and stuff. My recommendations, the last one was about a year ago, but most of them fall much further back, and I have a lot of awards and stuff. I don't put them on my resume or on LinkedIn because some of them are 10 years old.
They age you.
Recipients of numerous awards and recognition in my field. And you know, that opens up conversations when you're in that interview. That opens up the door for those conversations where you can expand on it. And I don't want anyone in this room to think, because you age yourself, that that's going to go ahead and prevent you from getting a job, because that's not true. Okay. Go ahead.
All my awards are military awards. They don't make sense to anybody.
Yes, I do.
They show passion and dedication.
There's military
Exactly.
retirees at companies that are hiring.
And just especially in this market, what we see, there's a lot of employers in Jacksonville that solely target individuals from
Correct.
the military. Because of your discipline, your commitment. My company, for one, is a national firm, and we love getting military individuals.
If you go to GI Jobs, I don't know if that, but they have a list of all the top 50 military employers that hire military.
So, with LinkedIn,
Jobs.gov heavily asks for, I mean, their jargon tells you, I want ex-military.
LinkedIn has 60 million users, 30 million in the US, gives you free access to build a business network. You can contact recruiters from virtually any company across the globe. Your LinkedIn profile serves as a virtual resume. So as you know, by being on there, you can really, when you start off, you can take your resume and you can carry it over onto your LinkedIn profile. Industry-specific networking groups. This is one of the things that I'm going to key on. Make sure if there's anything that you do right on LinkedIn, it's joining groups. Write it down if you have a pen in front of you, please. Join 50. The maximum you can join is 50. So join 50 networking groups.
And Carlos, can I elaborate on the groups really
Go
quick?
for it.
I'm sure that you're going to touch on it more, but Carlos is right. Joining the groups you absolutely have to do that. But just because you join it does not mean that you're going to get any extra exposure. You have to add some value to those groups. You have to. There's always once you join a group, you'll see the discussion threads. Start your own discussion thread. Comment on other people's discussion threads so you start to get two-way conversations with people. That's one of the big ways that you can build your network then. Once you have banter back and forth, that drives people to your profile, and then they'll send you an invite, and then you can see who all they're connected to. That's how you effectively utilize LinkedIn to help build your network.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Joining the groups, like I said before, joining LinkedIn is the first step. Joining the groups is great. If you're not effectively using them, the train has left the station.
It's like 6 degrees of separation.
You have to be working these groups. That's what I call it, work the groups. Post discussions on there. Even to the extent of, questions related to your interview, just for example. I went to this interview today, I felt like they were wasting my time. Get people to comment. That's how you build community. That's how you bring that exposure to yourself. Building your online presence and brand starts with LinkedIn. It really does. This is my profile on there. Okay? How do you use this pointer, Brad?
Just the button.
This one, okay. So this is your profile right here. What I have here to make me stand out is featured by CNN Money in the article called "The Job Finding People Jobs." I'm a social entrepreneur, founder of JobsDirectUSA. I've got a picture from one of my media appearances on here because at the same time I am looking for opportunities for public speaking. I'm looking for opportunities within PR and the media, so I want people to know I'm within this space. I also want people to know this right here because I'm very proud of it. I help people find jobs. I've been featured by CNN. Here's my status. I was talking about our recruiter friend Greg. He was talking about the Disney approach to hiring in the previous workshop we're doing. My current experience, founder and president of JobsDirectUSA. CXG Group is the parent company to that. And here's my prior experience. It's not a lot, because again, I've only been in the workforce for a little under a decade. But here's my work experience. List as much as you can. There's people that only list their last 3 employers or 4 employers. List as many as you can. Because what's going to happen is the more employers that you list, now you go into the network for those companies. Any questions so
So
far?
you feel that the recommendation portion is that strong in the circle?
Oh yeah. Recommendations. I tell you what, if there's anything that you do on LinkedIn besides join the groups, right, solicit feedback and recommendations on there. Okay. Now there's a difference between just getting anyone to recommend you and key individuals. Again, I reach out to folks like Brad, others that work with me that are really recommending me for what I do with JobsDirectUSA. So a lot of times I tell people, well, I found the JobsDirectUSA, well, what the heck is it?